So if you've been looking for a build that's going to help you get through the apparel event and also get through the global event at the same time, well, this is the build for you. As you guys are seeing, you can one-shot anything in the game. And if you want to play with heroic on, if you want to play with at least 4 directives on, so you can maximize the amount of XP that you're getting, this is the build for you. As you guys seen, nothing really stands a chance, and you can even change this build up a little bit, and I'll explain in a few, and get a little bit more survivability. But what I will tell you, for all you new players and low shade levels, if you put this build together, it will work. I actually had a PC account that I had started new, and I'm telling you, I was one-shotting just like this, same directives, everything on. And anybody who tries this build for the first time doesn't realize how strong it is until they use it, and then they never really use anything else to farm the open world activities. So if you wanna find something that's gonna be the best build to get you through that content fast, efficient, quick, easy, and hit those high numbers, you saw that, 48 million. And that's because we do have the global event on, plus we have the directives. This is going to be the one for you. So what I wanna do is let's talk about the build, talk about the directives, talk about what I'm doing to achieve all this at once. If you notice, we have all event items collected. Yes, all of them are collected. I was wearing the final outfit, but if you want to be able to get this knocked out quick, this build is going to help you. Not only that, if you want to finish your global event, we already completed it, that too. So everything has been done. I've actually used 60 stars already on 3 exotic caches. I'm gonna cash in on another one. And look, we haven't even started day 2. So day 2 will be live once this video, but I've already completed it. And all I did was play the open world using this build. So what you're gonna wanna do is go to your open world and make sure that you have a difficulty set to heroic, because you'll be able to do heroic with this build. And then what you wanna do is put on 4 directives, leave pistolaire off, because then you won't be able to use this weapon. But overall, just doing this will help you out a ton. I personally like fighting around Tidal Basin. I go here and then I'll hit these public executions, propaganda, public executions. Once I kind of clear this area out, I'll look down here south, and just south of airspace, I usually find more public executions or propaganda. Sometimes you find some in this area. You can also look in this area. Make sure you don't have any of these green, because that'll allow you to populate more. So if you have those, just reset the control points and do that. But ideally, this is what I do. I just do, I hardly do control points, but you can do control points if you want. I just stick to the open world activities, and that's what I did using this build. But let's get into the build. So I am using the White Death. You can actually buy one this week if you don't have one. It has 1.1 million damage on this build. We have marksman rifle, health damage, damage targets out of cover. I do have it at 10 expertise, so nothing that most of you guys shouldn't be able to do. I actually have a new account that I'm at 14 expertise, and I just hit 1,000 shade. So, I mean, this one is pretty easy for you guys to hit. Most of you guys should be able to have that. And I just leveled it up. Now, I do have determined on here, after killing enemy, your headshot, the next headshot landed on any enemy will be a guaranteed headshot. Now, I personally don't like running the zoomed in scope. You can if you want, but if you noticed in the gameplay, didn't have to worry about it too much. So I have the hollow sight that gives me 3% headshot damage. You can definitely change that and add one that gives you way more headshot damage. I have weapon damage on the magazine, and then I have a critical hit chance on the laser pointer. So that's how I run there. For the secondary, run whatever you want. Have the St. Elmo's, but ideally you could run the Ouroboros, Iron Lung, anything you want, Scorpio. You could put anything there and be perfectly fine. The White Death is going to take care of everything for you. For the specialization, I am running the sharpshooter specialization. Ideally, that's going to be the one that's going to benefit snipers the most. So for the build, I am running a hotshot build. You might have noticed from the gameplay, right? We're getting 30% marksman rifle damage, 30% weapon handling, 30% headshot damage, and then obviously the 4-piece headache is where you gain a lot of your damage on the build. And this is why this is one of the best one-shot builds in the game. Now we have weapon damage on here, headshot damage, and a headshot damage mod. For the chest piece, we have the chain killer chest piece. This is the name Walker and Harris chest piece. It gives us 5% weapon damage. We have weapon damage on here, headshot damage, critical chance, and then headshot damage mod. And then obviously we have perfect headhunters. So after killing an enemy with the headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals additional 150% of that killing blows damage. Now damage is capped to 800% of your weapon damage. This is raised to 1,250% if your headshot damage is greater than 150%. So that's why you'll notice on the backpack, we run it a certain way. For our second piece of hotshot, we have the holster. It's gonna give us weapon damage, headshot damage. For the knee pads, we have our third piece of hotshot. We have armor, and headshot damage on here. For our gloves, we have weapon damage, headshot damage. And for our backpack, we have weapon damage, critical damage, headshot damage mod, and we're running on a Raw D backpack that 10% marks from rifle damage. Some of you might say, what about Providence? You can run that there. But if you were to do the numbers, once Headhunt is fully procced, the Raw D was going to hit the higher numbers. So you could test it out yourself however you want, but ideally, a Raw D is going to be the best in slot here. Vigilance increases total weapon damage by 25%, taking damage disables his buff by 4 seconds. So Vigilance also is what you're going to want to have there. Now you notice we aren't running all reds. You don't need to have all reds on this build. You still can one-shot almost anything in the game. And I'm not even capitalizing on the headshot damage I have on my scope. This is going to be the best way for you to do that. You can also do the same thing with Memento. Memento works great with this, and then you could put a headshot damage mod there, and then you'll actually have 2 blues on this build. So if you want to run something with a little bit more survivability, you can actually just switch out the backpack and put on the Memento, and that will work great too. For the skills, you can run whatever you want. You can run a Defender drone, or you could even run the Tactician. Since I am running the directives, I typically don't use any of them, and I just leave my Reviver Hive in case I go down, it will pick me up. If we look at the stats, you'll see 21% crit chance, 57% crit damage, 294% headshot damage. This can be higher if I put a scope on it, but if you don't want to scope in, well, no need to. And that is the build right there. So if you guys have been looking for a build that's going to help you get through the global event, help you get all those points so that way you can get your apparel keys, because remember, you get 1 key every 4 levels. Well, this is going to be the best build. It's probably one of the best builds to level your Shade Watch to, whether you're doing this solo or in a group. I ran half of the apparel event with a teammate, and then I ran the other half by myself, and the build worked as it should. Very flawless. And I think a lot of you guys who haven't put this build together, you're going to save a lot of time while you guys are trying to farm these shade levels, especially if you're trying to get through it pretty quick, because there's no better build in the game that's going to allow you to have 4 directives on, allow you to one-shot enemies, and pretty much do the global event at the same time, right? Because getting stars allows you to use those for whatever you want. I'm using mine for exotic caches. And then obviously every 4 levels, I am getting a key. And that's how I honestly did mine, just doing these open world activities. I think I might've did 1 or 2 control points here or there because I got bored of just doing open world activities. But at the end of the day, being able to just pick apart all these global event activities like left to right is definitely the way you guys want to do this. So if you guys have any questions on the build, let me know in the comments. Remember, I've been using this build for a while, so if you've been watching my channel, you might have noticed it. Yep, it's still one of my fan favorites, and recently I've been running it with the Memento backpack, but that's really up to you on if you want to do that. But look at this, like nothing faster than completing these open world activities, getting chunks of XP, and getting everything you need for these events. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, nothing but skills out. Take it easy, everybody.